Hello RaceOwl users. Tonight I'll go over the RaceOwlRacer app on Android. This app looks a lot like this little purple guy with a yellow nose. He is meant for racers and not spectators. This is a tracker app. It sends the location of the racer to RaceOwl.com for processing and display for other people to see. First thing you're going to do when you get into the app is select the right race event. This is the screen you'll see. It's the registration. You can get to it through the menu if it isn't already there. So select your race by clicking on this very top bar. It'll show the races that are currently active in RaceOwl. We will select the MR340. Once we've done that, we need to select our correct division. Click on the division drop down and pick the correct division that you're in. I'll pick solo rowing for myself. Next, I need the racer number or the boat number. Enter that. Now, if you happen to have a single digit like a 7 or something like that, they're always 4-digit numbers. So always prepend it with zeros like so. All right. Next, I'll need your first name, last name, or an alias. So I'll put my name in there. And I'll skip the email. One thing I do need though is the phone number. This is the phone number of this device. Whatever device you're using, that's the phone number we need. I'll enter a dummy number here. 10-digit number, no need for spaces or parentheses or dashes or whatever other formatting you might think of, just the digits. The reason we need that is for if there's an issue with your tracking, it gives me a number I can text and say, hey, what's up? Are your tracker's down or something's not working right? It gives me a way to contact you just in case something's going bad. So very important we have that. I don't believe it will even let you track without having that number in there. Crew number, don't really need, especially for the 340 because you've already pre-registered all that. And the RaceOwl authorization code, that is for official use only, so no need for that either. Once you've entered your information, press register, and RaceOwl will come back with a success or a fail, and you will go from there. So right now, there is no number 0007 in the race, so it came back with a, hey, that's not right. It's not there. This is, for this race, it's a not open race, so everyone has pre-registered, and only if you have a number that is in the registry will it come back with success. So let me enter mine and register again. It will come back and say, hey, success, you did it. If that's you, great. Otherwise, pick the right number. Okay, so now we've all set up, we've got the registry set, we've entered our information, we're now ready to go and actually track. This is really about all there is to this app. Go to status. It will show kind of a screen that says here's their speed data. It'll say the elapsed time of the race, total mileage you've gone. These are estimates and can be reset by this menu here. If I go here, I could just reset the speeds, reset the times, whatever you want to do. Lat long of the device, and then here is where we start getting some important stuff as far as the next update time. This will be the next time that the device, the RaceOwlRacer app, will attempt to send your location to RaceOwl.com for processing. Right. Notice it says stopped. That's on purpose because this app is designed to start and stop automatically. If you are near the river, it will start and it will start tracking. If you're away from the river, which this currently is, this is somewhere out in California, I believe, it is not near the river, it is not going to track, right? So if I move to the river, let me do that. So I just need to pull up my little location finder here. If I move this thing to somewhere in Missouri along the river, so we're going to pick, oh, I don't know, someplace, maybe Roachport. So I'll pick there. We'll save this point. And then I'm going to set the location of that. You'll see it change on the screen. And then all of a sudden, look, I'm now close to the river. It now says tracking because now you're close to the river. My location is here in Roachport on the river, and it is sending out my location every 5 minutes to RaceOwl. That is by design. As you move away from the river, then it will cease to track. So I get a certain distance away, a few miles, it will turn to stop tracking and you're good. Now, one thing you're going to want to check is to make sure you're all set up. So let's go back here. I'm going to enter that other number, that 0007 number, which is not a valid number, 0007. I'm going to go back to here. And when you're setting up for the race, you want to do this and make sure you're okay. I'm going to force a send, even though I'm not near the river. I can do that by doing ping location. I'll send it, and I should not get yellow. If I get green, that's good. That means I've got a number in there. RaceOwl's tracking. I see this number here, the number of locations I've sent, go to non-zero. And I see this, which is if I can't send it, like I don't have any cell data, this number will increment. This is what you want to see. You want to see a number kind of growing on you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 every 5 minutes for the number of locations, and this number is staying near zero. Not a big deal if this number goes higher. That just means you might be racing and you're in a dead spot where you have no cell coverage. Not a problem. As it finds a cell tower again, it will go ahead and send that data to RaceOwl. So not a big deal. It will find its way out. You just don't want to see it always doing that. You want it to be able to send some data. I have seen a few phones that are like your company's phone, and they have settings on it that won't allow you to actually send any data out of these apps. In that case, you have to change a setting in the permissions, like turn on cell data for this particular app, and so forth. So anyway, there might be an extra setting you have to do if it's like a work phone. I've seen that several times. Um, okay, so anyway, we want this to be green, so let me go back and enter the correct number. Go back to status. I'll force another ping, and that should go back to green, which it does. You'll see that number goes 0, all good. So now I'm tracking. I can put the phone away. I can turn the screen off. No problem. It's tracking you. And it will keep on doing so as long as the phone doesn't overheat or get wet or run out of battery. You should be in good shape. I would recommend that as you get into checkpoints and you get your phone out for any other reason, just make sure you're still tracking, make sure everything looks good on the screen, make sure you still have green. Never hurts to press ping location just to speed things up if you don't want to wait for 5 minutes. Okay, that's the tracking app. Other things you can do with this app, you can actually check in and check out manually if you so desire. So that's done by this screen here. You'll notice that because I put my location near Rocheport, it said, well, the closest checkpoint is actually Glasgow. So it automatically snaps to that location. When you want to do a manual check-in and check-out, you come in here. Your number that you entered on your main screen will be here. If you're doing it for a friend, you can still change it. Like say I want to do that 007, I could do that as well. Select your checkpoint wherever you're at. We'll say we're at Glasgow and hit check-in. It will send it and it will get rejected because, well, there is no boat 007. Actually, it snapped back to 1661. But regardless, it got rejected simply because this thing is actually not racing yet. We don't have the race going for 340. I could go back to Caw Point, which is already open, and hit check-in, and you'll see it send it out, and it will come back as acknowledged as in it accepted that one. Any other point, it will not currently take. I can do checkout. It will be rejected. One important point is that DNF. If you were going to leave the race, make sure you let us know. Press that DNF button, and usually it'll be for whatever the checkpoint is that you're heading to. So if, say I'm heading to Jeff City, I would then say Jeff City, DNF, and it will ask me if I really want to. I might say yes or no, and I will be withdrawn from the race. Normally you'll get a little email from the race official saying, you okay? You say, yep, I'm just really tired or really hot, and you move on. But anyway, do let us know. One key aspect to this is that if you need to adjust your time, you can do so by dragging this little slider bar back. It'll adjust it, I believe, up to about a half hour. Press check-in, and you go from there. If for some reason you need to adjust it more than that, the log screen shows you everything you've entered. You can go to that, and you can actually modify these individually. So for instance, I want to modify maybe my check-in to Caw Point. I press and hold, it'll pull up the screen here. I can then change this time to whatever I need to change it to. We'll go back to 6 o'clock, like so, if I can type it, 06. Okay, and then say okay, and then it will send it again, and I should get another acknowledge. So anyway, the log screen provides the ability to go way back in time if you really need to make adjustments way back in your checkpoint history. Normally you don't need to, especially if you're tracking. Again, if you are tracking, there is no reason you need to actually manually check in and check out. The system will take care of that for you as long as your screen is green and you've got locations going out to RaceOwl. All right, that is the app for RaceOwlRacer on Android. Now, this is a reduced functionality compared to the Apple version, the iOS. The iOS one has an extra box down here that says navigation. Navigation would be like showing you where you're out in the river, showing a map of the river, showing wing dams and channel, that sort of thing. That's not on this app. If you have an Android, then the proper app to use for navigation is the Pro Paddler. Pro Paddler has been around for several years. It's a very good app. It will allow you to navigate on the river as you will. It is not for free, but it's a fairly inexpensive app to add if you so desire. Anyway, this will get you downriver. If you want more navigation, go see Pro Paddler. See you later. Have a great week and good luck on the 340.